just realized that, yeah, like I have a green background. Like usually I spend my day on Zoom. So unfortunately, Hopin doesn't allow you to see like the great virtual background that I usually use. But hey, so yeah, so stoked to be here. Thank you very much, Mainnet, for inviting me here. So today I want to talk to you about continuous financing and what continuous financing and continuing offerings can really bring to the world. So I'm Thibaut Favre. I'm the CEO of Fairmint. Fairmint is helping companies, private companies, use continuous financing to turn their stakeholders into investors and raise capital while doing so. And so how can I need to switch tab, unfortunately, to do that. So yeah, so today our analysis is that financing is broken, and it's fundamentally broken, and it's a big problem. It's a big problem because our view at Fairmint is that if we want to change a society, you need to change how the economy, and if you want to change the economy, you need to change how it is financed. And so we think that reinventing financing is key in order to change the economy and change the society. And here's what financing is broken. It's broken because as of today, when we hear financing, we hear VC fundraising, and VC fundraising should be like reserved to a very specific type of companies. It should not be the go-to that it is today. And why is that? Is because like first, it's like extremely distracting. It's extremely distracting. Like as a founder, as soon as you want to fundraise, like you have to hit the road and market yourself, and it takes months. It's a huge time sink. And basically, it prevents you to focus on what you're best at, which is like growing your business. Second, it's super inaccessible. And that is a huge problem, is that those rounds of financing, only like insider angels, professional investors can participate to it. Like any stakeholders, like if you're a simple user, a customer, a partner, a supplier, you cannot get into those rounds of financing. And the only way you have to invest in private companies is to wait until they go public. But the problem is that we've seen like now they go public much longer, so they wait a lot more. And so there's little upside left for like retail investors and people who are not insiders. And finally, it's very dilutive, meaning like the more you multiply equity rounds, the more you lose control over the fate of your company. And this is why like it prevents you from eventually developing like the grand vision as an entrepreneur that you wanted to develop. And this problem exists because ultimately accessing capital market is hard. It's just very hard. If you go the private route, well, it's super intermediated, so it makes it hard to get to those capital. And if you go the public route, it's another type of complexity, but it's nonetheless, it stays complex. It's very hard to reach. Either you do like, okay, an IPO, so IPO, you have to be very late, Reg A plus, the mini IPO is also like 6-9 months. It costs a lot of money. ICO, we've seen like the promise of the ICO, unfortunately, has not been fulfilled because it was like way too founder friendly. Reg CF, so Reg CF in 2019 was like a $62 million market. So $62 million have been issued using Reg CF. So it's like very, very little. It just doesn't work. And STO, well, STO is cool, but like the promise of liquidity has not been really fulfilled. And so the advantage of doing an STO versus like doing a traditional fundraising is not super clear. And here is like the big change. Like continuous financing is a real paradigm change. And what it brings is that for the first time, this is an entrepreneur-focused way of financing, meaning for the first time, instead of you, the entrepreneur, going after hitting the road and trying to convince people to invest in you, what you do is you set up the conditions so that at any single time, anyone in the world who supports your product and mission can invest. And that is life-changing. So basically, when you fundraise and when you finance yourself using continuous financing, it's a totally different thing. So first and foremost, for founders, it is non-distracting, meaning you know as a founder that you're going to be judged by your ability to execute, your ability to deliver results, your ability to grow your business, basically your ability to focus on what you are best at. Like you're not supposed to be like the best at pitching. You're supposed to be the best at growing your business, at being an entrepreneur. And so that continuous financing allows you to do just that. Then it's like super inclusive. it's very inclusive because it's not a campaign-based type of financing. It's not like, okay, now we're going to issue some shares and try to find an investor. It's now like it's not like a crowdfunding where you're going to have like 30 or 60 days, and if people want to participate, they have to participate within that window of time. It is literally continuous, and so anyone at any single time can participate. And finally, it's non-dilutive. It's non-dilutive, so as founders, it's non-dilutive in terms of governance. It's also non-dilutive in terms of equity. So as founders, it is a powerful tool so that it enables you to pursue that grand vision of yours and stay captain of your ship. And under the hood, how does it work? Because like so far you're like, okay, so what's the crypto in here? Like we're on Mainnet, what's the crypto? Well, here's how it comes. Like you're all familiar with the concept of cap table, right? So you have your company, you raise VC funds, so you have your cap table. So continuous financing brings another type of table. It brings the fair table. And so what's going to happen is that when you want to do continuous financing, out of 100% of your company value, you're going to carve out a fraction of this value of your company, and you're going to dedicate it to continuous financing. And doing so, create this new table, what we call the fair table, where anybody can at any single time come and invest. And the beauty of it is that it's really led by the market. So at no single time as a founder, like you set the valuation, you let the market set the valuation for you. You just allocate on the market this X% of your company's value, and you let the market value it. So the more you grow, the more you develop your business, the more demand there's going to be to access and invest in your fair table. And that demand drives the price and the market cap up. And so in here, like as you're in crypto, you're probably familiar with the term of bonding curve. And so this is where like the bonding curve lies. So meaning every time there's more demand than supply, there's new securities being issued every single time, and always at a slightly higher price. And so this is why, like with this fair table, like you can raise continuously money, because every time like the market deems that you executed well and that your market cap should increase, more people buy, and more people buy means more securities are being issued, and more securities issued means more financing for the company. So for the same X% of your value of your company that you've put on the market, you raise more and more. It's not like an IPO where you raise one-off at the beginning and then it's all secondary market. Here, like the more you execute well, the more you grow, the more you raise. And so instead of traditional fundraising where shareholders basically buy shares, here you buy convertible securities. And these convertible securities, in the end, like you can transform them and convert them in like the value that you've put on the market, that has been put by the company on the market. And so this is why it really is a fascinating concept, because we are really reinventing, continuous financing is reinventing what it means to go public. Because in the end, like you stay private using continuous financing, but like you enable anyone to invest in your company. And so, and we think it's critical today. It's critical to enable people to get access to these wealth building financial products that today they cannot access to. And it is extremely important, because one of our mission at Fairmint is really to decentralize access to wealth and counteract inequality doing so. And so this is why it is key today to reinvent what it means to go public, to let like the growth and the value being shared by as many people as possible. And so just a few words about Fairmint. So Fairmint is just this, like we are this company, we enable companies to use continuous financing to raise capital and turn stakeholders into investors. So a quick word about like, what does it mean? Like really, what does it mean? So first and foremost, so some of you like who've followed the journey like since like it was 2018 now. So in 2018, at the end of the year, like we released the continuous organization white paper. And right after that, we started working like on building smart contracts. And those smart contracts is not like just, hey, like here's the smart contracts. We took great care and great effort to create like extremely well-crafted smart contracts. So they are obviously technically audited. They're also economically audited. So shout out to Block Science here who helped us do this. And shout out to Consensus Agents who helped us like audit the smart contracts. They're also like 100% test coverage. They are fully specified, fully documented at different level of reading. And all of this because we want other teams to reuse our smart contracts and use them to create their own continuous financing. And this is where like we were stoked. Like it was like a few weeks ago, exactly I'd say 6 weeks ago, when the DXDAO team came and say, "Hey guys, like could we reuse your smart contracts?" And we were like, "Yeah, hell yes! Like just do this." And like as everything was pretty straightforward, like in 2-3 weeks they implemented them. And 2 weeks after, 3 weeks after, now they're the biggest and most funded DAO on the market. And they did it using continuous financing and using our contracts. And then this is where the value. So DXDAO did it in a. So it's not illegal; it's illegal, meaning like it's a DAO who raise funds. So to which jurisdiction they belong, we don't know. What Fairmint enables is that enables normal companies like that are non-crypto companies or crypto and non-crypto companies to raise funds using continuous financing, but in a fully legal and compliant way. And so with that, we bring a lot of tools like economical analysis and simulations, like so that you can know what's going to be the return on investment, what's going to be the cost of capital as an entrepreneur, what's like the ballpark that you can raise. We also bring all the legal and tax compliance frameworks. So we work with like Deloitte on the tax, we work with Atrium, and now like Brookwood on the legal. It comes with all batteries included, meaning we cherry picked on the market the best component to do KYC, AML, secondary market, funding options, so that like it would really bring a stack that is complete. And finally, it's super important. So Fairmint is full DeFi based, so we're based on Ethereum, but we really wanted that nobody noticed it. Like the goal at Fairmint was that the experience should be frictionless and nobody should ever realize that we're based on crypto, because we want we want every stakeholder to be able to invest in companies. So that when we mean every stakeholder, it's not like only the ones who know how MetaMask work, right? And so this is why like we made a great care into creating that frictionless user experience. And it doesn't mean that we were like we're centralized. We're not centralized, because so all our users have non-custodial wallets. So at no single time we touch the money. Like Fairmint doesn't touch the money ever, and which is also why crypto is so wonderful. And I think it doesn't talk about a lot, but like bringing a product like Fairmint on the market would have taken years and a huge amount of money had we based ourselves on the traditional finance stack. Here, using DeFi, Fairmint can be non-regulated, meaning we're not a money transmitter, we're not a custodian, we're not a broker dealer, and still we can bring that great product that enables our customer to have this great investment experience. And so I'll do a demo right after. And so Fairmint enables our customers, like issuers, so project, organization, private companies, to create this unique investment experience directly on their website. So it's like they have their own little NASDAQ sitting on their website, and it comes fully included, like the primary market, the secondary market. They are self-sufficient. They don't need to go try to list their securities anywhere else. Like everything runs on the website. And so that's about it. So if you want to dig more, really, you can read our blog. You can go and read our book. So we published a book on Amazon about continuous financing. Obviously, you can read the continuous organization white paper. You can read the code of our smart contract, and we encourage you to do that. And you can also check the library, because not only we create the smart contract, but we also publish in open source the library that enables you to use the smart contract and integrate it with your dApp very easily. And so, why don't we do a quick demo? Okay, so that's our new version. It runs on Mainnet, but it's a development environment. And basically, when you arrive here, so you were on Fairmint, you click on Invest Now, you signed up, and then you pass. So there's KYC, AML, but it's as you'll notice once you log in, it's going to be very straightforward. And then you arrive here. You can fund your account. So to fund your account, so usually there would be a getting started banner, but here you can see it. So you support bank deposit with SEPA, credit debit card, digital currencies. We try to remove crypto. I know it's not pure, but we try to remove crypto as much as we could. So directly in USDC, ETH-based tokens, or non-ETH-based tokens. And once you've funded your account, you arrive here. And so at no single time, MetaMask was involved, and still I have my non-custodial wallet with me. And when you click Invest, So okay, I'm down. I want to invest like $1,000. So you want to invest $1,000, so you're gonna get like 587 fares. Preview your purchase. So okay, you can check that the price is good. Number of fares. So we offer all the fees. You proceed to the purchase agreement, and here, like, you accept the CSO subscription agreement. You accept the risks associated with the CSO. Then you just have to sign and consent to electronic signature. And then boom, you just click buy now. As you can see, like, there's no pop-up. There's absolutely nothing crypto-ish. It's like a very smooth and straightforward user experience. And boom, your order is being processed. Might take up to a few minutes to be confirmed. Back to dashboard. And right now the transaction is being propagated. And unfortunately, I don't think you'll see it because we need to switch tab. But so if you go to diagnostic, it's on Etherscan. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, the transaction is here and is pending. And so it will confirm in a, oh, actually it already confirmed, boom. So that's it. And in less than 30 seconds, you just invested in Fairmint. And that technology is now available to anyone. So yeah, we're pretty excited about what continuous financing can do. And let me stop this. And yeah, like, we think it's a huge step into creating like a step forward, like creating this new stakeholder-centric capitalism. And like, given the recent like events, especially here in the US, we think like it's like we need it yesterday. So I guess I will now talk, get questions. Like if you have any questions, like I had a 20-minute demo, 20-minute talk, and if you have any questions on continuous financing, please. So what do you think the biggest downstream impact of continuous financing would be 10 years from now? Well, I think continuous financing is just poised to become ubiquitous. Like I cannot see how, like, in not even 10 years, like in 3, 4, 5 years, you're going to be on Stripe Atlas, you're going to create your company, incorporate your company, and right at that moment, you're going to decide what fraction of your company you want to put for continuous financing, so that like from day one that you incorporated, like anybody can invest in your company, be it your friends, your mother, your first customer, your first partners, and then like it just like it should be just smooth and fluid. And so VC financing will become like exactly what it should be, which is like jet fuel when you want to finance hypergrowth and when you have like worldwide ambition. So it's very complementary. It's not one or the other, but we think that continuous financing should really become the norm, like and because it's just so natural. And bear in mind also, like so my co-founder is Joris Delanoux, and both of us, like, we're entrepreneurs, like we've like so he's had like 13 years of experience, and I have like about the same. And so we created this model just like it's really created by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. This is the model that we would love to have had in our previous experiences. Can we see a breakdown of exactly what investments the money goes into? So right now, like the way it works is that it works with future revenues. So this is why it's non-dilutive. So basically, as a company, you're gonna commit a fraction of your future revenues, let's say 10% of your future revenues, to continuous financing. And so every period, quarter, semesters, year, you're going to contribute a fraction of your revenues into a reserve, which is a smart contract. And this reserve is going to grow over time with your revenues. And this is like stake in this reserve that investors buy. And so this is why, like, they buy it at a premium. And basically, investors value your company at a revenue multiple, like concretely. And so this is why, as an investor, what you buy is you buy a stake in a company's future revenues. Question by Frank. Question: in your example slide, you have 15% of the equity determining 100% of the market cap of the company. Is that not problematic? So no, like it was not determining 100% of the market cap of the company. So, well, okay, I see where you're going. So the 15% has its own market cap, and then you can say, okay, if the 15% market cap is this, then 100% of the company is this. Well, it's actually beneficial. So two answers here. First, like you decide the type of value that you want to put on the continuous financing, right? So it doesn't have to be the same shares as the other like the other class of shares, right? And second, like if you think now, you think in a VC way, actually VCs like to be able to put a markup on their investments. So having this continuous financing that gives a public market price is actually pretty good. Like if I think now in terms of VC term. So what is the regulation around the continuous financing? So continuous financing, so we work under 2 exemptions. So first, it's obviously jurisdiction dependent because it's in the end, it's where the issuer is that determines what is like the securities law that should apply. But so in the US, we work under 2 exemptions, which is Reg D 506C, which is like last year was a $60 billion have been issued using Reg D 506C. And we also work under Reg A+. And Reg A+ is a much newer exemption. Last year is like around $1 billion have been issued using Reg A+. But then like outside of the US, there's different jurisdictions. So we've had also customers in France, for example. So in France, we work under like a Visa AMF type of exemption. So it's not an exemption, but it's in France, basically, this is not considered a security, it's considered a token due to the fact of how the French regulators like classify securities. So this is what, like, it's really like jurisdiction dependent. Maybe one word also like that can be interesting, like because Reg D 506C in the US is obviously a private offering. And a private offering is usually restricted to accredited investors. But a little known fact is that even though it is like after 1 year, like a Reg D 506C issues like restricted securities, and those restricted securities after a year, like they don't have any more lockup and they can be sold to non-accredited investors on the market. So that's exactly what Fairmint is doing, meaning after a year, like we kick off a secondary market, which is Uniswap based. And on this Uniswap based secondary market, anybody can access.